in San Diego 40-35 in overtime and beat Denver a couple of weeks ago in the Coliseum 31-28. It's tied at 14. 3-minute intermission. Meanwhile, up in Seattle, the score, the Seahawks 31, Cleveland 13. That's with just less than 3 minutes left. So apparently Seattle will go 8-6 and the Browns will drop back to 7-7. You see Denver and Dan Reeves, fourth overtime this year for Reeves. He's going to get old in a hurry, this young man.
One of those overtime wins came over the San Diego Chargers, a game in which Dennis Smith, who's had such a big day today, blocked 2 consecutive field goals, and one of those picked up by Louis Wright, carried all the way back for a touchdown.
That was with Bob Thomas trying to hit a field goal that would have won it for the Chargers in overtime. Smith picked up the blocked field goal and raced for a touchdown and a miracle win for Denver. And later tonight, it's Pittsburgh at San Diego, and the Steelers 6-7, losers to Denver last week at home. With a win, will tie it up. It'll be a 3-way tie in the Central. But right now, the focus on the AFC West. In case you just joined us, all 3 leading teams in the East, Miami, New England, the Jets, all won today. They're 10-4. The winner here will go 10-4 as Denver and the Los Angeles Raiders tied for first in the West. Boy, the competitiveness of especially the 3 divisional races in the AFC. Barr roots it deep. They won't return that one, I don't believe. Broncos will start from their 20-yard line. We'd like to remind all of you that following our football coverage, if possible, we'll join the Punky Brewster program in progress. In addition, all remaining NBC Network evening programs will be seen over most of these stations except for Pacific Time Zone and some Mountain Time Zone stations where the programs will be seen at their regular times. A big lineup on Sunday night with Final Jeopardy, the NBC Sunday night movie. The finale at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Right into the arms of Bill Pickel, the 3-year man from Rutgers, right there to grab Lang for a couple of yards, not Lang, but Winder for a 2-yard loss. The late games being played, Seattle in the final minutes apparently to beat Cleveland. The Giants apparently will win at Houston, and they benefit from the Dallas loss today, in Minnesota 19-7 over Tampa Bay in the 4th. Giants would move into a tie with Dallas 9-5 atop the East with that victory at Houston. Howie in trouble. Just does get it off to Sewell, incomplete, and Howie Long on Elway. Now we have a moment. 3rd down and long. The other finals today, the Bears were clinched a long time ago. That Central Division NFC. New England a winner. Washington still in the race, 17-12. Miami from behind to win at Green Bay. The Jets 27-7 at Buffalo. Dallas surprised at Cincinnati. The Bengals roaring 50-24. The Cardinals beat New Orleans. And it was Kansas City 38, Atlanta 10. The Chiefs will be here to play Denver next Saturday. That'll be seen the full NBC network Saturday afternoon. 3rd down and 12 from his 18, and Elway calls time. Timeout in overtime. We've played 51 seconds of the overtime period, a 14-all tie. 3rd and 12, you have to think about the possible punt from deep in Denver's own end, and Norman from the University of South Carolina has not kicked well the last 4 games.
He did get one good kickoff today, one that rolled for 55 yards, but even with a 55-yarder, his average today is only 42. And the problem he's had is that very often he's been line driving the ball. Now he's kicking to Fulton Walker, or if they can't get big yardage here, he will be kicking to Fulton Walker. And you better believe there are some interesting thoughts going through his head right now.
Biggest game of the year, both teams admitting that coming in. Yesterday, even in a loose practice, even the fun was intense for the Broncos. And the Raiders this morning, nobody slept in.
They were all there early, bright and early and bushy-tailed.
Shotgun, 3rd and 12. Stunt. Elway spinning out. Gunning, complete. Oh, Johnson drops the ball. It would have been a first down at the 35. The rookie Vance Johnson unable to hold on.
And just as Todd Christensen had dropped a crucial pass earlier, Vance Johnson, the young rookie who has come on so strong for these Broncos, drops enough yardage for the first down. Elway gunning the football to him, has it in his arms, but he couldn't handle it.
Buried it right in his chest. So here's Norman to punt. He'll kick it from around his own 8-yard line with Fulton Walker dangerous to return at the Raider 41. Wobbly. 43, 45, 50, 47-yard line, 46 goes Fulton Walker, and the Raiders begin on Denver's half of the field. Well, Denver, I guess it's part of their heritage. You go. First overtime was in '74 involving the Broncos and Pittsburgh, and they played to a tie.
As you see that snow falling, it's not hard to figure that for all the skill positions, as you get colder, it gets more difficult to handle that football. Not impossible to see or think about a fumble here along the way.
39-yard punt, 13-yard return. Wilson starts from the Denver 45. Give it to Marcus Allen for a couple. Mecklenburg, Jones, and Wilson all in on the stop. Thomas Jackson there as well.
Mecklenburg has been in on a number of tackles today, but he has not had the impact day that he had last week with his 4 sacks and 2 forced fumbles, and you've got to credit this Raider offense for being able to contain him.
That's a new Raider record, 325 carries for Marcus Allen, whose yardage this year over 1,500 yards, also a Raider record. Broke Mark Van Egan's mark. Wilson. Dokie Williams, no. He trapped the ball. Dokie Williams, who came into this game with 43 catches, has not caught one today. That's a surprising statistic.
He had that ball in his hands, but his feet slipped out from underneath it. He couldn't handle it. Watch right at the end of this play. Dokie comes back. You see that turf shooting out from underneath his feet? He just couldn't hang on with those cleats in the ground and unable to handle a football.
3rd and 8, and the crowd comes back into the picture. It's never a good sign when a back comes up and says something to the quarterback as they break the huddle. And you saw Allen and Wilson conversing. There was some confusion.
I think he wanted Marcus Allen in that pattern, but Allen was forced to pick up a blitzing linebacker. And that made it difficult for Mark Wilson, who went downfield.
Here they come out of the huddle. Wilson setting his line, and then Marcus.
I think just asking him the snap count. You saw the quick bark. I think he just told him what the snap count was.
So despite good field position on the punt return, Guy has to punt it away. Aiming, and it looks as if it's a good kick. It's a dandy. It'll be inside the 10. No. And not as good as it appeared from this angle. 12-yard line. Well, 2 weeks to go. So, what was it today? Of the 28 teams, 21 were still legitimately in the playoff fight. Well, here's our lineup. NFL 85, of course, the Saturday game, full network, will feature Kansas City here at Denver. Then on Sunday, starting 12:30 Eastern with NFL 85, you see those games early, and then Seattle and the Raiders on Sunday. The Raiders, well, it'll depend on what happens today. If they win, they have a 2-game lead on Seattle. If they lose, Seattle goes into the Coliseum only 1 behind Los Angeles, having beaten the Raiders in Seattle. Well, the wild card will still be a part of it.
And the drama continues.
First, the business here in the snow of overtime in Denver, and it's snowing harder. Elway, pressure, dumps it to Winder. Is that a completed pass? Yes! Oh, my. And fortunately, Winder kicked it out of bounds. That was a live ball.
Now they're going to question whether he had contained. the other official on the sideline asking him if he had possession of that football. Now they're saying no. And that's exactly what we talked about with the cold weather. The hands getting cold out there. It's getting harder to contain that football.
Now Elway rolling will throw to Winder. And does Winder have possession? One step, two step, but he did not have control of the ball. Ball kicked out of bounds by the Raider defender. That's a good call. A correction made by the officials. Incomplete pass.
Producer Larry Cirillo and Director Teddy Nathanson on top of that one. They picked it up for us.
They're the artists of this company. At the 12, 2nd and 10. Away from his goal line. Going long. Clint Sampson. And he was well covered by James Davis.
James Davis, for those of you who weren't here, on a play very similar to that, called for a penalty earlier in the game that set up one of the big drives for the Denver Broncos. He was not about to touch that receiver on that play, and even though Sampson fell down, he did it of his own accord.
Suppose there's any nepotism with the Raiders? Al Davis, there's 3 Davises, Mike Davis, Bruce Davis, James Davis, Clarence Davis of years past. Denver still pinned in deep. 12 minutes, 42 seconds left in overtime. 3rd and 10. Good protection this time. The pass overthrown. Vance Johnson along the near sidelines.
Feeling the heat.
We welcome those of you who have been watching the game from the Kingdome in Seattle, where the Seahawks have defeated the Cleveland Browns. This is Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen at Mile High Stadium in Denver, Colorado. Starting in the second half, we've had light snow. It's snowing harder now than at any time. It is not affecting play, however. The Raiders rallying from a 14-0 deficit in the second half. 2 touchdowns in the third quarter, tying the game at 14, and we're in overtime. Each team has had a possession, unable to move the ball effectively. But now the Broncos, Chris Norman will have to kick from around his own goal line, and Fulton Walker waiting at midfield. The Raiders should get good field position out of it. It's a short kick to the 46. Walker breaking one tackle and stopped at the 43. That's only about a first down out of field goal range. 34-yard kick by Norman. And we don't often get a chance to credit all the folks that make these sports specials so exciting for you at home. Executive producer Mike Weissman is with us. Coordinating producer of our football coverage is Ted Nathanson. Today's production, Larry Cirillo, the head man with a whip, directed by Ted Nathanson. John J. Filippelli produces the NFL 85 show, and Bucky Gunts is the director back in New York City. Marcus Allen for one. In case you are just joining us, Marcus Allen for the 7th consecutive game over the 100-yard mark. He has around 128 yards today. He relinquished his lead earlier today for the NFL rushing lead to Gerald Riggs, the fine back with the Atlanta Falcons. He's now only about 10 yards behind Riggs for the lead.
Defense is certainly dominating in the fourth quarter, and here in overtime, neither offense able to get anything going.
Wilson on a passing down. He's been intercepted 4 times today. That's Allen again, dragging orange jerseys with him to the 37, where it will be 3rd and 4. Tony Lilly, the first man there, and Chris Barr, the placement kicker for the Raiders. He won in overtime the game against the Broncos 2 weeks ago in Los Angeles.
He was very happy to have that chance. He'd missed a kick in the closing moments of the game that would have won for them, and then came back with one to actually win the ball game. But Dick, twice in a row, they've gone to Marcus Allen. They've gone to the game breaker. Let's see what they do on a 3rd down and 3.5.
Allen again. He doesn't get the first down. This would be, if they try a field goal, about 52 yards. And they're not going to attempt it. Ray Guy and the punting unit has started on the field.
Mark Wilson over to argue. I think he wanted to have a shot at it. He said, hey, we're not that far out. We can't gain that much by a punt. But their defense is playing so well that I think they want to turn it over to the defense. Count on Ray Guy, who's been kicking extremely well all year, to try and put it out inside the 10-yard line.
4th and 2 from the 35.
Would they try a fake punt here?
The up back is Hawkins.
Nope. Now they're going to the end zone. Yeah.
Guy's not going to be happy with that. So for the Broncos, who have started deep in their own end, Elway has a little more breathing room. He gets to begin at the 20-yard line.
Well, I think Wilson at least would have liked another opportunity at it. They pick up, what, 20? Not even that much, Dick.
No, only, well, the line of scrimmage was the 30, only 10 yards. 15 yards. 15 yards on the punt.
And I think that's what Mark Wilson was trying to say to Tom Flores on the sideline.